ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोविष्णं स्थापितं स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथन्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेव श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva, which is called as a Rudra Gita. And text number 59. Nayasya chittam bahirartha vibramam tamo guhayam cha vishuddham avisha yad bhakti yoga nugrahitam anjasa munir vichaste nanu tatra te gatim. So this particular verse is very important, where Lord Shiva, he explains about the qualities of a person who can understand the name, fame, form, and activities of the Lord. So he says here, Nayasya chittam bahirartha vibram tamo guhayam cha vishuddham avishat. The devotee whose heart has been completely cleansed up by the process of devotional service and who is favored by Bhaktidevi does not become bewildered by the external energy, which is just like a dark well. So here, the external energy of the Lord is considered as a dark well. Because when you look into the well, especially the unused dark well, you can't find anything. So same way, when someone gets disturbed by the material energy, then he can't see the real fact, real situation in his life. Then what to speak of? And he says clearly, Yasya chittam na bahirartha vibrama, whose mind is not disturbed by the external energy. And how does that happen? Then he says, Yad Bhakti Yoga Anugrahita Anjasa. The person who has taken the process of devotional service, his mind never gets disturbed because his mind is fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. Then what is this devotional service that need to be understood? Most of the people, they say we are devotees of the Lord. We render devotional service. But what is devotional service? And what is meant by accepting devotional, a process of devotional service? The process of devotional service is further explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, when Prahlad Maharaj, he explains to his father, he says that Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevan Marchanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmaniveda Iti Pumsarpito Bhaktische Navalakshana. This is what the ninefold devotional service is offered to Lord Vishnu by devotees. And the first and foremost among that is Shravanam, hearing, hearing about their Lordship. And how that happens, from whom we have to hear, then we can understand the activities of the Lord. The Lord Himself, in the third canto, 25th chapter, text number 25th, He explains to His own mother, Devahuti, when she asked Kapila Muni that what are those things that one should follow to increase his devotional service or to increase his interest in performing devotional service. Then Lord says, Satam prasangad mama vidya samvena. One should hear glorious activities of mine from my devotees, because they are the one who can reveal the hidden aspect and concept of my activities, because they love me. They are the one who are tattva vedti, who knows the real tattva, the principle of my activities. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yachasmi tattvata. Tatomam tattvato jnatva vishate madanantara. Because they know me fully as it is, they can able to explain those activities. To understand his activities, you don't need to have academical knowledge. Sometimes the academical knowledge, you may be a PhD, but you don't have faith in the Lord, then what's the use of that knowledge? And such a knowledge is considered as only an unnecessary burden that someone carries throughout the life. As one of our Acharya, Bhaktivinod Thakur, in his song, he says, Jada Vidya Jata Mayara Vaibhava Jivera Banaya Gatha. This Jada Vidya, the material knowledge, makes the living entity donkey, which carries this burden or load of this material knowledge, which is useless for you, because that's not going to help you at the time of death. So one should hear it from the devotees. And to become a devotee of the Lord, your material situation is not most important. What is important is your consciousness. What consciousness you carry for their Lordship. As there is a wonderful verse by Rupa Goswami in his Devali. He has quoted it from somewhere, I forgot. He says that Vyadhasya acharam dhruvasya chovayo vidya gajendrasya. Ubjaya kimanamaru guna adhikam kibdat sudam nodhanam. Vamshaka vidurasya yadavopate gurasya kim paurusham. Bhaktya tushyati kevalam nachagune bhakti priyomad. If someone renders devotional service to the Lord, that is most attractive to the Lord. Lord gets attracted by the devotional service that you have performed, rather than your material qualities. Some people, they say we want to be very sophisticated, civilized, then only Lord will get attracted to us. Never. Vyadhasya acharam, the first example given here is Vyadha. Vyadha means the hunter. There are two hunters in Puranic stories. One is Ratnakar and second is Mragari. Both were hunters. They were staying in forest, hunting animals, and very cruel. One was hunting the people who was passerby in the forest. But both, they were able to please their Lordship because they had devotion and they followed the instruction given by the pure devotee. They were Shinara. Dhruvasya Chavaya, some people, they think that I may be mature in age, then only I can understand the Lord and His activities. No. Dhruvasya Chavaya, what was the age when Dhruva Maharaj, he pleased their Lordship? He was merely 5 years old and he was able to please their Lordship. Vidya Gajendra Saka, Gajendra. In the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a wonderful narration of Gajendra who attended the Lordship. Even though he had an animal body, but he was able to perform devotional service and he attended the Lordship. He never went to any Oxford University or Cambridge University to get any degrees. No. Then some people, they think socially I should be well established, I should have financial backup, and then I should be handsome, beautiful. Then only I can attract their Lordship. No. Kubjaya kim nama rupa gunadikam. Kubja, the name itself shows what she is. She is hunchbacked. So what attractiveness she had. But Lord got attracted to her because she had devotion for the Lord. Kim tat Sudama. Look at the Sudama. He was so poor. But still Lord got attracted to him because he had a devotion for the Lord. Vamshaka Vidurasya. Someone thinks that I should get born in very aristocratic and wealthy family, then only Lord will get attracted to me. No. Vamshaka Vidurasya. Mahatma Vidur, he was born to a maid servant in Hastinapur. But he considered as Mahatma. Some people said, it's me, by my own ability, I can attain the Lordship. And he said, Yado Pate Ugrasya Kim Paurusha. What was that Ugrasin he did? Nothing. Bhaktya Tushyate Kevalam Nacha Gunaihi, not your qualities, attributes, your social position, but Bhakti, the devotional service that you render to the Lord. That attracts the Lordship. And that devotional service happens when you associate with the devotees who are like-mindedly performing devotional service. Like someone gets habit of drinking if you associate with the drunkards. So same way, if you associate with the devotees, knowingly, unknowingly, you will start performing devotional service. The first foundation of devotional service is association with the devotees. Because in their association only you can understand the Lordship. Even Lord, He Himself loves to get association of His devotees. That's why He says, Naham vasami vaikunte yoginam pratishuva madbhakta yatra gayanti tatra tishtami narada. Where I stand, He said, stand. Tishtati means he is longing to hear from his own devotees. Because when his devotees, they speak, then what happens? Bhavati Rata Kasa Rasa Yana Katha. When the devotees they speak about the Lord, it becomes so elixiric. It becomes nectarian. Even Lord wants to hear about Himself from His devotees because of their love for Him. When they speak with such affection and love about the Lord. When Lord gets attracted to hear that, then what to speak of you and me? Tajjoshanat apavarga vartamani shraddha ratira bhakti ranukramesha. When you hear it from the Lord, that enters through your ear and goes to your heart. It acts like a karana rasayana, elixir of ear that goes to the heart. And then anukrameshati, gradually you develop shraddha, faith in the Lord, rati, attachment, and ultimately bhakti for the Lord. That's why one has to hear it from devotees. And the first process of devotional service is Shravana. Shravanam is not only hearing. Hearing is done by the ear, but it is listening. Listening is done by you. Through the ear, you hear. That is listening. And that's what most important. Listening means receiving. You are ready to receive what you hear. That is listening. So when you do that, that listening gives you Shraddha, Rati, and Bhakti. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastraka, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi. Lava Matra, a fraction of moment if you associate with the pure devotees, that gives you all perfections. Then how to associate with the devotees? Because they are your well-wisher and they are there to help you out. So you need to go there and listen from them rather than crying in front of them for material problems. There's a nice story which is there in a Bala Leela of Sri Lord Ramachandra. Once Lord Ramachandra was playing with his friends, and all of a sudden he started running inside the palace and was saying, "Oh, she's crying, she's crying, she's crying." Then his mother was wondering, "Who is crying? We are not able to hear anything. All are happy, all are enjoying with you, and they are playing with you. Then who is crying?" He said, "If you keep quiet, then you will hear." Then and they were able to hear a small kitten was crying because that kitten was entangled in the threads of wool. It was playing with that wool and it got entangled, all his four legs, his neck, everything. So one of the auntie of Lord Ramachandra, Madhuri Mausi, she went and she caught hold that kitten, but that kitten, because of fear, it started scratching her hand. The Lord Ramachandra went to that kitten, and very smoothly he started cuddling that kitten. And he said, "She's there to remove from this entanglement. So keep quiet. If you keep quiet, then she will be able to remove all these threads and make you free from this bondage." In same way, when spiritual master or devotee they come to rescue you from your material condition, you need to be quiet. If you are not quiet, then it's difficult for them also to rescue you from your entanglement. Because devotees are always well-wishers. They are ever well-wishers. They're always there to help you out, to rescue you from this material entanglement. Why? Because they themselves are freed from this material entanglement. Because they never get disturbed by Bahir Artha Vibramam, the external things, the situations, obstruction, obstacles, or things that really disturbs you. They're really free from that. Why? Because their mind is always fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. Because their mind is always absorbed in thinking about their Lordship. As Prahlad Maharaj, he says, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about my own liberation. Why? Because mama, my mind, mama chitta, my mind is totally absorbed in thinking about you. Tvada virya gayanam vratat, nimagna chetaha. My mind is always absorbed in glorifying your activities because those activities frees us from the material entanglement. And that's what we can see in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in the second chapter, text number 17 to 21. There it is explained what happens when someone hears Shranvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantosti Abhadrani Vidunoti Suratsata. When someone hears about the activities of their Lordship, then what happens? His heart gets cleansed up. Hridhayasto asti abhadrani vidunoti suratsata. Your heart gets cleansed and you become satan, means devotee of their Lordship, who is attached to the Satya, the absolute truth. That's why it is necessary to hear it from those people whose heart is pure, who never get disturbed. That's the life, actually. And that's Prabhupada says, one who is pure in heart is never attracted by the external energy, which urges the individual soul to try to dominate material nature. To find it out what consciousness that we carry, there is a small testimony has given here. When you see someone, when you see some things, what is your consciousness for that person or for that thing? Whether you think that this person is made for my gratification or this particular uh, object is meant for my satisfaction, or you think that this person is meant for the service of the Lord and this particular thing is meant for the service of the Lord, this is a totally different consciousness. One consciousness is exploitative mentality, and the other one is using those things for the service of the Lord. As Prabhupada says in one of the purport of Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I think text number 4, where he says that sense gratification and Krishna consciousness goes ill together. They are like 180 degrees. So if you want to find it out, whether you are carrying Krishna consciousness or you are carrying material consciousness, if you are Krishna conscious, everything you will think that's meant for the service of the Lord. And if you are not Krishna conscious, real consciousness, then you will think, Ishwaroham, Aham Bhogi, Siddhoham, Balavan Sukhi. I'm the one who is exploiter of everything. I'm the Lord, what I serve. But the devotee, what he thinks? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This whole earth is one family. Why? Because as Lord says, Aham Bija Pradapitaha. He is the seed-giving father of all living entities. So that is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we think that everything belongs to Lord because we have faith in the Lord's words. That is, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarva Pravartate. That everything comes from the Lord and everything goes to Him and everything is meant for His own enjoyment. That person is peaceful. And that's the chapter 5, 29th verse, the last verse of where Lord says that He is Surudha, is intimate friend of each and every living entity. Bhoktaram Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. The person who knows that Bhokta, Lord is the enjoyer of everything. All the activities that you do or even done by anyone, all the yagyas performed, and Surudham Sarva Bhutana. And he is the one who is intimate friend to each and everyone, Sarva Bhutana, not only Indians or not only the living entities who are born on the earthly planet, but he says Sarva Bhutana. Whoever has taken Hava Bhuta, who has taken birth in this material manifestation, he is Surudha to them. Why? Because he stays in the heart of king also and he stays in the heart of maid also. Or he stays in the heart of Brahma also and he stays in the heart of the insect who stays in the cow dung. He never differentiates. For him, all are same because all are his kids, his children. And he says, Sarveshu Rudheshu Tishtavi. I stay there in their heart. So who is intimate there? Nyatwamam Shantam Uchati. And who knows this becomes peaceful. A peaceful person never gets disturbed by the external things. And then further Prabhupada says, the pure heart of a devotee is never disturbed when he executes devotional service in the form of hearing, chanting, remembering, etc. In all, there are 9 processes one can follow in the execution of devotional service. In any case, a pure-hearted devotee is never disturbed. The Bhakti Yoga process must be carried out by avoiding the 10 offenses one can commit while chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Once who hear this, one who chant this mantra, definitely his heart will get pure. Because that's the effect. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shiksha Ashtakam, he clearly says, Cheto Darapanamarjam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandambudi Varadhanam Pradipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatmasnapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Chetodarapanam. What cleanses your mind? The Sankirtana, the chanting the holy name of the Lord. So when you chant the holy name of the Lord, you listen to that, you do hearing also. You remember their Lordship also. So that's most important. But how to chant this? Offenseless. Niraparada hoi chape Krishna. One should chant the holy name of Lord, avoiding 10 offenses. Otherwise, what happens? You may make a nice sweet rice and put 1 spoon of sand into that. Everything will get spoiled. Even though holy name is very powerful, but if you commit offense, and especially offense toward the Vaishnavas, as Narottam Das Thakur says, if someone offends their lordship, Haristane aparade tare harina. If someone offends the Lord, then Lord's holy name can save him. But Thomas Thane aparade nahi paritana. But if he offends some Vaishnava, then it's very difficult for him to make progress in devotional life. So not only this 10 offenses, but while rendering devotional service, we need to follow other 64 things also. The do's and do and not to do things, which are enlisted in Padma Purana, which comes under the Seva Aparad. When you do service to their lordship, when you go to temple, people they think, why previous ages we hear so many stories that deities used to talk to the people? Because those devotees who used to visit the temple, they used to follow all these 64 rules and regulations given in the Shastra. That's why even deities, they used to speak to them. Now, people, they don't follow rules and regulations. What they do? Yatomat tatovat. The way they follow that path only. Don't follow the path given by the acharyas, mahajanas. If you don't follow that, you are not going to get the proper destination. As explained here, Munir Vichashke Nanutate Gati. Here, devotees are considered as Muni. Muni means who has controlled his mind. How he has controlled his mind? By rendering devotional service to the Lord. That's why in Srimad Bhagavata, Kapil Devi is also called as a Kapila Muni. Devarshi Narad is also called as a Narada Muni. And Srila Veda Vyasa is called as a Mahamuni. Because they are in knowledge about the Lord. That knowledge makes you Muni. Knowledgeable. The person who has controlled his mind. So the conclusion is that when one's heart is purified by the association of devotees and by the avoidance of the offenses committed when chanting and worshipping the Lord, the transcendental name, form, and activities of the Lord are revealed by the Lord. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Sadashiv ki jai ho. Hare Krishna.